Here with Baba is You, where we have entered the chasm, possibly the oddest and strangest and most disconcerting world in the game. So far, no numbered levels, only extra stages and lettered stages, which I guess they can label them however they want, I suppose. And that didn't actually unlock any new world when we cleared the requisite stages, so to speak, that would normally unlock a new world. So it seems to be like I was anticipating that this is perhaps the final, like, real normal world we're doing. But there's clearly more to go to this game, partly because I didn't look at the achievements list to see what we were missing, but there are more achievements than just one for completing this chasm. And obviously we saw this weirdness with the orb that we've now gathered. And we haven't tried the A Way Out mission yet. So there's clearly a bit more to do, at the very least. But beyond even the weird things that are left to do, we have some normal stages here. Sorry, what was that? Metacognition. Understood. Sort of. Door is stop. Baba is word. Door is shut. Baba is us. Flag is win. Wall is stop. So we've never encountered the word keyword before. Ah, I see. So I also work as my own keyword, do I? Well, that could be convenient in a number of ways. So if I break that, then walking here does not read the Baba word is Baba. The word Baba is defeat, so it doesn't kill me. Interesting. So in theory, if I did this sort of thing and then said that Baba was open, I can move to the right. Ugh, that would end me. I see. Wouldn't really like that, probably. But that does mean I can swipe the keys to find purpose. Ah, wait, hang on. How would I say, it's push and word at the same time. Oh, well, if I say it's word, then I can use the other one as... wait, no. It's not that, it's the is I'm after. No, that's right. I can use this is twice with, okay, right. If I make it push first, okay, I was wondering why they've given me two. I should only need one to unlock the door. The other one's to use de facto as another word, like that, so I can do this and then that. Aha, Right on. Word is an interesting one. Moving on to extra stage 4, alley. Oh, this reminds me of the garden. I don't like it. Water is stop, text is flow, water is water, moon is wind, Kiki is us, rock is rock, hedge is stop, rock is stop. Is that word keyword going to be around here a whole bunch? It would appear that it is going to be. So water and rock are not transforming. They're currently both stop. Neither one is sync. I can effectively make one of them into a word, but not the other. And then once it's there forever. By the way this is laid out, it would appear. And it would appear I'm going to make one of the other one into push, but not both. Oh, well, I suppose if you did it vertically, you could change what it was, supposing something like rock is word, and then you push the rock to the... Oh, right, I couldn't do that until... You'd have to do it the other way around, wouldn't you? You'd have to say that rock is push, and then also... Oh, no, you wouldn't be able to do that, because that requires the... Oh, I see. You'd have to do rock is push and get it, like, here. And then, okay. So that's a way to do it, but that only is useful if water is sink. But just as a thought for how to make it so that rocks are push. So the moon is wind, water, rock, not transforming, hedges is stop, Kiki's us, text is float, so just that you can't use the text to sync. So you're trying to sync one of the things into the other, presumably. Oh, it actually looks, yeah, so it looks like water's going to be synced before the end, which makes some amount of sense. Oh, what are you doing with that rock at the end, though? I guess you just make it not push at that point. I suppose if you were to do it this way, then you could make it so that water and rock were both push. So you could at least do this, and then you could say water is sink, and then I guess you don't want water to be push anymore, or does that still fine? No. How would you make water not push anymore? I guess that just means I have to do it again, but okay, so what was the order? I did it again. I think it was rock is push in a removable kind of way. Get this rock here. Get word here. Then we want to do... Ooh, sorry. Oh. Okay, I guess we don't do that in a removable way. We do it like, No, but I have to. Do rock is push to get it... Oh no, just to get it here. And then... right, okay, then we do rock is word, rock is push, water is push, because this is the one we want to be able to break later. Do this, make it so it's sink, and then break it so it's not a push, that the water can be sunk into. What do we do about that one? Oh, and then, sorry, and then I make it push again, right, okay. And then, ooh, and then what do I do about you? Still working on it, If there was a way to make it so that rock wasn't word anymore, that would be grand. Can't help but feel I have to do something over here. Rock is water? No, rock is rock. No, we can't do that. So I got a good portion of the solution, perhaps, here. I can sink water on itself, so... Oh, I couldn't even do that, so as soon as I do this, it's like... Ugh, okay, right. It's like I gotta push the water into... So, okay, so rock has to just not be push or stop currently. There's some way to do that. Oh! I could... Aha! Right, I could sink this rock here. How do I... Oh, no, rock would have to not be pushed, because I can't push the... That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, because I can put you here, then make you not that, then... Boosh! And so the rock is no longer pushed, it's nothing I can walk over it. Okay. I didn't think I was that far off there, so I'm glad I stuck with that instead of just panic resetting there. On a extra 7, automated doors. Ooh, word is a very interesting keyword. I like it quite a lot. Wall is not us. Wall is wall. Fair enough. You're welcome to that interpretation. But when Baba's on the case, such obvious truths are not always concrete. Oh, rock is word. Baba's us. Baba's push. Belt is not us. Belt is belt. Wall is stop. Belt to shift back is win. When I see the rules laid out like this, I mean, I do still find it's useful to read them all out like this, but I often find that, like, when I read it all like this, I'm like, there's no way I'll ever understand this. And when I unpause, I'm like, oh, okay, there are only very few things that I really need to, like, concern myself with for the logic of solving the puzzle, and most of the rest of them are just to constrict you a bit. Okay, so what is win? Flag is win. That's not changing, seemingly, because wall is stop, wall is wall, and not us. So we're never moving it or anything like that. Belt is belt and shift and not us. Because the belt is always going to be there. Well, it may not always be there, but it's always going to be shift and not something we can control with us. And I actually, so Baba is us and push, but we're the only thing that's push. So it doesn't sound like any of the rest of this is going to move except the text. Baba and the rock. We have a second U keyword. I was wondering where it would happen. So there's no flag currently, so what it sounds like we want is either we're gonna say that flag is you also, and then, oh, there's no Baba is flag. I presume we're trying to get the rock to become the flag at the end. If we go in here, there's no coming out. We could do a flag is like this, such that if we had a U in here, we could do it like that, but it would appear as though that's not going to occur. So what I'm thinking we're trying to do is say rock is word, also rock is us, to get the rock down into there and then have it be is flag, and then we go in after it. So what is the not for? I just out of curiosity here, what happens if we... Oh, right, I see. Once I'm in here, I'm not exiting this either. Okay, right. Oh, but I can be shoved out, perhaps. Anyway, what does not rock as word do? So Baba is a word and all the walls are count as words. So in theory... Oh, wall is wall and not you. I was gonna say if you put the you keyword here, then it would say wall is you. Right, okay. So wall is... It can't be Baba, but there might be something to this. So if I were to, oh, I can't get out right. Regardless, it feels like we want, is the rock pushed currently? It is not. It feels like we want the U and the not in here, kind of. Oh, I can't do them both. Okay, what's the one? I'm taking one. Well, that's actually kind of unusual. Oh, I guess it means I'll have to get out and then try get in again. So I think it's the U we're going to take first, if anything, because we want the rock to be U and bring it in, get it in here so that it can push me out, I think. I'm assuming that anyway. Although then again... no matter. Anyway, we'll worry about the logic of it all later, shall we? Let's just start trying some stuff. So first of all, if rocket becomes us, then we can get the rock to bring the knot in here. Ooh, how do I do that with... Okay, it's fine. I'll do this sort of thing. And then, so we could do not rock as you. Of course, this doesn't help us with the wall or the belt, because those things are explicitly not us, so I don't think it's that we want to do with this knot. I have no idea what we do want to do with it yet. So if I were to do something like this to get this thing ahead of me, then I think we can do something like this and it pushes me across the... Okay, it didn't push me across the conveyor belt as much as I was expecting, actually. But I assume that's the purpose behind making me push, is that to get me across here, right? Because I cannot make Baba not us. So it's not like we're going to push it when it's not us. So I assume the reason behind it being pushed is to get me across this, or that's what I thought it would be anyway. But that doesn't appear to do what I was hoping it would. There's no way to get it to that wall is with... Well, it doesn't matter if wall is also stop, I guess. So I assume rock is not word doesn't really achieve anything. It just means that the rock object doesn't work like word. It's weird. I don't feel like the word thing lights up all that much when it's activated. It is definitely a different color, but it's not that much. So rock is not word. It doesn't affect the rock word, it just means the rock object. It's a redundant statement, effectively. Because if you don't say anything, then rock is presumed not to be word, so... Okay, sorry, let me think about this. So the trouble, I can see the trouble here is if you had rock as word and you tried to get it into here, then it would say rock is defeat, so it would just explode upon getting here. So it's like you have to have the rock in here and then over here, and then have it be words that it can say rock is flag, and then the Baba can come in after. But that presumes a few things. Number one, that I can, because I presume I have to go in here, because I get that rock is word currently, but we don't have an is on the outside here, so there's no way for me to do anything with these two keywords until I go into one of these two rooms, right? And it can't be this room here, because then that blocks me off if I try and bring a word in. So I believe I'm not mistaken that the first thing you do is bring one of these words, and not both, because you can't, into this room as Baba. You is the only one that makes sense to me, because without the rock doing something, there's no way for Baba to leave. So I assume the first move is rock is you. That's why my mind went to those places. And now you understand why I felt that way about these words and things. I don't know what comes next, though. I was assuming I had to get the rock in there as well with the not keyword, and then I'd be able to do something, and because Baba is push, I would have the rock that was us walk into a Baba and push it, and in so doing, get it across the conveyor belt. Maybe I don't understand the way it works very well, because I'm not that bright, and what I'm supposed to do is have them split up with the rock further away like this, and then... No, that doesn't. It's not actually physically possible to do that. But there must be a way to get Baba back out, right? Because if this eventually ends up with rock is word. Oh, I see. Well, I could. The thing I was talking about like, oh, how do I do this with still getting the rock into the place I want, is like I could get rocket like that, and then I could turn it into a flag here. But again, this still doesn't answer the question of how does Baba get out? That is the thing I was saying we were going to do with word eventually. I don't think it happens then, though, because again, I think it's kind of vital that... Ooh, well, if I said not rock is you, I can move the flag. Oh, well, I need the knot in here, which I do not have. I guess the rock could have pushed it in. No, but it would only go to here, and then Baba would never be able to retrieve it. I do think I've done something wrong here, because there's no way to get this knot out, and I don't see a way to get Baba out yet, but I just want to sort of visualize this, because I do think that's what you're doing with the rock in the end, is you're getting it in there and then moving it onto the is flag spot, just as you take it off of being you, such that it turns into a flag. And then to address the flag, you would say, not rock. Even if something isn't you, it's still affected by shift, right? So it's not as though you could turn something off of being you at the exact moment it goes on the belt and then turn it back on to being you when it comes on the other side. I think the only way you get across the belt is if someone pushes you and you move at the same time, right? Or so I thought. So I do feel that you start with getting the you in there and saying rock is you. And that I do also feel that you then use the rock to get the knot into here. And I do also feel that you end with the thing we did with the rock, where you say rock is word, you say rock is you, move it down there, past the defeat thing, and then you break rock is you just as you put it onto rock object is flag, and then you say rock is word, such that that does that transformation. So I feel like I've got the start and the end, and I don't have the middle. And of course I could be wrong about any of it, but I feel fairly confident in this just because of process of elimination. I don't think there's anything else I can really do here. So what are we doing with this not word right now? Is basically what I have to ask myself, because why did I just get it in here? Why did Admiral just get it in here? Admiral thought that was the only time it was going to end up in here. Why was Baba getting it in here? I'm not sure yet. Because we were saying if we did not rock as you, at the moment that doesn't achieve anything because the belts and the walls are not allowed to be us. The only other thing it could be, it doesn't do empty. Again, I'm not seeing what wall is word could achieve with the rest of these words if we still can't say that wall is you. Well, the interesting thing here is the rock isn't push, it's just Baba. So you would think if any of the two of us was getting out of here, it would be Baba. But I can't say Baba is word to do all that other stuff. So I've gone down dark paths trying this line of reasoning before, but why is this place shaped like this so that you can't... Oh, actually it is curious that wall is stop is in here. Although sometimes, again, they just put it in a place that seems accessible to make you think you can do something important with it when you can't really. I could say wall is somehow here. To what effect, I'm not sure. Wall is word or something like that. I'm pretty sure this here, though, it only exists to make it easier to get something out from this altitude, so to speak, by doing this and then looping around it like that. That is a thought. Wall is word. We've done not rock is word before, which does make the wall is word, but the idea that we would ever want to remove something from this height does feel important. Maybe they're just doing that because it's a confined space anyway, but it just to make it easier for you. But it does make it sound like you are going to need to put something in one of these 4 spots. And the only thing I could think is wall is word, but again, that doesn't really let you do much because you can't transform what wall is, and it can't be you. Okay, all this is a moot point because I still haven't figured out how Baba gets out, or Baba or anything once getting into one of these places gets out. How could Baba, an ambulatory Baba, flag, or rock get out? And the only thing I can think is that wall stops being stopped, or the push becomes utilized somehow to move you into two spaces in one turn to skip the belt. I'm pretty sure we tried every combination of ways to make the rock push us that I could think of. If we had 2 knots, we could say not rock is not you, and so make it so that Baba wasn't a thing. But then even then, when you push them, they just go onto the conveyor belt and then go off. So I'm starting to think that we must make it so that wall isn't stop. So if we could put a knot here, that would be great. It's like they want me to do... I don't know why this would be a thing yet, but it's like they want me to say rock is you here, wall is word, and then put this knot somewhere with the rock's help to say like wall is not something or not wall is something. Like, if I were to put the knot up here, then we could say not wall is you. But to what end? I think we've already said that, haven't we? And what am I controlling now that I couldn't before? Because what I can't do with this way is say wall is not stop or not wall is stop. Not wall is stop we don't actually want. Well, it would be nice because it would, well... Yeah, that would be okay because it would take wall off of being stop. Just the Baba flag and rock would become stop. But I don't see a way to do that. This is another situation where if you got the rock in here, you'd never get it out. So that even if you set something up like, you know, some weirdness like this. Oh, well, yeah, I was gonna say, for example, again, to do not wall as flag like this, that's gonna turn the rocks and the Baba into a flag, so we lose. But it's probably something weird like that, right? You know, this whole time where it says LT, like left trigger to restart, I thought that was supposed to be a feather below it, but it's supposed to be like a diagram of a shoulder button. I can't believe I only just noticed that. I thought it was supposed to be a feather quill, as in like rewrite how this goes. Even if I could have the flag in there at the bottom left and say that not wall is you or not rock is you or whatever, so that I can move the flag, it couldn't get it out at that point, right? I feel like there's some very good reason that Baba has to be pushed that I'm not understanding. And at first I was thinking it had something to do with letting me get out, but now I'm somehow thinking it's supposed to keep me in somehow. And I should put it out of my mind. Even if I got the rock in there and said that the rock was word and did not rock is flag, so that the Baba turned into a flag. I couldn't get the rock to touch the flag. Not wall is... not turning anything into a flag only helps if one of the things that is us can go touch it. So... that's why I thought the rock had to go in there and say it itself was flag. But it's another situation where it feels like the fact that the U and the knot are outside to begin with feels pertinent. Because it's not a terribly difficult solve to say that rock is you and then get the rock to push the knot in, right? So that seems like that's the obvious thing they're expecting you to do, is to get all the words together as much as possible. And so what you're actually supposed to do is put the knot somewhere else like we've done here. Where is that somewhere else? Fine question. I think at the top left is doing anything because it's all, if we're visualizing it as each square of that wall is the word wall, then we're not messing with Baba or flag in there. We've already said that making something defeat does not make it not stop. So a wall is defeat, whatever that, it wouldn't do anything. I don't even think I could orchestrate that. It's got to be something I'm not thinking to do with the words at the top right here, where it says wall is stop. But the thing is, if I'm using wall as word, each of those wall squares is just the word wall. So the only one that could do anything with is the one that's currently X'd out that says is you. And all I could do is say is you or is word. The is word is redundant because you'd have to have it already be is word to even use that. It would be different if they were one space away, or if it were built in a different way, so I could say wall is not stop or something like that. What does not wall is rock do? Just change the Baba into a rock, I guess. I don't have enough is. Yeah, I would change away and then there would be nothing to be you. So then Baba just turns into a rock and that doesn't help. Okay, I don't know why. I thought it would. Oh, I didn't really, but it's in a situation where I feel like I'm circling here. I feel like the whole using the not on the wall thing is a big solve of this. I feel like I've done a lot of the big solves of this, and what I'm missing are like easy connector pieces, so to speak. I'm not certain about that, but that's the feel it has. Is there a way to do rock as you while transforming the Baba into a rock? I don't know. Why would I want that also? I don't know. I have no smart ideas about how that would help. Not at all. I'm not thinking taking you out of bounds, so to speak, in the same way we're doing with the not here would help. Because the thing about the not is that it's useful before an object. You is only useful after an is, as far as we know, or an and, as the case may be. Again, the amount of playtesting that would have had to go into design these stages such that there was only the one, or like, you know, sometimes a few solutions that you were trying to enforce is outrageous. And didn't they say the game was made for a game jam? So doesn't that mean it was made in like a matter of months? That's wild, if so. I might have that wrong, but it's just a pretty incredible feat of game design, this. For one thing. Okay, so the is defeat, I'm pretty sure... So why would there be an is defeat there? Well, the only reason I can imagine is that you have to do it, the rock goes first, and then you go and get it to where you want it, and then break it. Before saying its words, that becomes flag. So, by that logic, this has to happen. So, if we also had the not in here at this point, although you can't do that unless you also get the rock in here, you could say not rock is you, and then we can move the flag around a bit, but none of it really gets an us object onto the flag. Okay, so the question I should probably be asking myself most, and not that I have a way to answer it really, is, does this end with with two things in a building and one of them escapes the building to go meet the other one? Or does it end with one of them never having to go into one of the buildings at all, such that it goes into the other building to meet them? Because I'm pretty sure the two do meet in a building. The question is there a way to break out of a building? Oh, something being word doesn't mean you can push it like a word though, right? No, surely not. I'm not allowed to say wall is word and then I can push it because it's like text? Okay, no. What I was saying before about not being able to use the not though is even if I did rock as you and had it push, I think we've already tried this, we've had it push the not word in. That's as far as it gets and Baba can't interact with it here. Oh right, that's probably why I'm pushed, is that I can't go down, down, and so that I push the not up. But a rock could. I guess. Why? But the only way to transform a Baba into a rock is with the not word. Someone has to enter that building at some point, right? Even if you're doing some weirdness with the not, there's nothing useful lined up there unless you enter that building and then say, well, not wall is flag or whatever. Not wall is flag, so there's just that. The Baba then says that wall is word, and so they become flags. Someone has to go into that bottom left one, and someone has to go into the top right one, but they have to touch each other eventually, so there is a way to get out. That's the only thing that makes sense. And if we're saying that Baba's pushableness, Baba's portability, if you will, does not allow you to cross the belt, and the belt is never not going to be shift, and there's no other way to, and every object is affected by belt unless they are float, it would only stand to reason then that the wall must stop being stop at some point, right? Or that you get a third word somehow, like a third object. You can't do something. You can't say like word is rock, right? Word is a rule, not an object. So there's nothing like that. No, okay. Or like wall word is rock. No, I don't see a way to make something else into shift to get the text out. Doesn't matter anyway. If wall is stop, it can't also be shift, I assume, unless you're also it. So that, I'm pretty sure, is not negotiable. What do we do with the not at this point? Do we wait for the rock to push it in, or do we put it somewhere else in advance? What does not allow us to do? A thing I must think, especially with how word-centric this world is being so far, or at least the extra stage versions of it, the tricky and interesting thing they would want you to do is to use one of the walls, which you've written off as just part of the environment, to do an is statement, right? Like not wall is you, which requires that wall be wall is word in that orientation. But doesn't allow you to do anything else, even if you get the rock in here, to my knowledge. And like we already said, clearly the point of this is defeat is to prevent you from putting the rock in here whilst rock is word, right? Which suggests that rock does become word in the end. I guess. Maybe there is something that being a flag in there would help you do that I don't understand. So to break it here, and then rock is word, so it becomes the flag, and then I resume wall is word, and say not wall is you, so I can control the flag. Oh, of course, because if something is you and win, you just win. I was thinking I had to get Baba to touch it still. Of course. Dang it, I wish I'd just tried it earlier. Because I'm pretty sure I'd vocalized that earlier. You could even control the flag from in there, but what does that let you do? So like it was like I thought, where I'd done all the important legwork a long time ago in that mission, and just it was a small connector piece, which is that anything that's you is also win, makes you win. Right, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that'll be all for this episode of Baba's You. So far, I managed to get the other two much faster than that one, right? And all the lettered ones as well, for that matter. So I think it's probably not unreasonable to expect that we'll clear these 4 extra levels and reach the end of Chasm next time on Baba's You. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels like that could totally happen. All right, that was embarrassing, but at least it does feel slightly less embarrassing that the thing I was missing was something small, and I did all the impressive brainy stuff, right? Just tripped up in a really small and silly way. I don't know, it's kind of equal parts embarrassing either way, I guess. Whatever, I'm just glad I'm through it now, because for a minute there I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. This stage is just weird. It's gonna be something really unusual that I'm not expecting. That it was something really usual that I wasn't expecting. Regardless, the next video going to the channel is going to be a slightly silly one that is Fire Emblem related, and that is all I will say about it for now. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! I'm sure that's exactly what Sakurai wanted us to ask ourselves. Or Sakurai wasn't. How was he?
Sakurai wasn't the director of this one. It was Shinichi Shimomura.
Gotcha.
The guy behind the Dark Matter.
Right. Sakurai